Hey guys, Thomas Jr. here, aka Mustached Tom, here to review South Park, the Cred episode, or special. If you end up enjoying this full review, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also make sure to check out those links in the description. One will head you over to my petition to help out smaller YouTubers. Second and third to my Patreon and PayPal, where you can help support me and my channel directly. And fourth to my Discord server, you can join, collab, and chill, and do all that cool stuff for free. And chilling will be reminded at the end of the review. So after South Park joined the Pandaverse, I was kind of curious what they would mock next, and I think that this is a very suitable next step, considering that everyone in the political sphere, at least the big names of the political sphere, whether they be conservative or liberal, were on about the Pandaverse and, whose side was right and all of that, to follow that up by mocking big YouTubers, specifically influencers, so not just of YouTube, but of Twitch as well. I think that this is a perfect follow-up to mock influencers, particularly those who use their time to sell a product that is not affiliated with their channel to make that additional money. This is something that has been a part of YouTube and Twitch for some time now, and obviously this special really dives into that particular field about how influencers will begin to reach, wanting to reach that status, selling that cred, aka Prime, when Prime was a thing, and I think still is a thing, I'm not sure, but, and influencing who can buy that, again, through having a big influencer, sell this product to your audience, and, and trying to say that, this isn't for kids, the demographic of my channel is, above, the threshold. Adults, this is only for adults. And, there are very clear mockeries in this. There are very direct call-outs. Anyone who's probably has done an ad on YouTube or Twitch, this mocks all of them, every single one of them to a degree. So this is going to be a fascinating setup to see which of those YouTubers that were talking about which side won the political debate, if those very same people would follow up and see what they would think of this episode, because those very same YouTubers, I can guarantee you about a good chunk of them probably have done a product placement, self-insert of what to buy in their YouTube stuff. This is something that I have not ventured into, which is probably why I'm still a small YouTuber. I've not sold out my brand, as it were, to something else. I just have a Patreon supporter, a personal PayPal supporter, who's interested in seeing what I have to offer. So someone who's directly looking to my work. That is the one thing that this special doesn't cover is influencers that stay on the straight and narrow, which, quite frankly, is super rare. In fact, I just recently learned about Young Year's, quote-unquote, fall. Someone I actually used to listen to not even that long ago, pretty frequently as well, and learning how they, too, were, not so surprisingly, selling brands and doing all the stuff that is, again, mocked here, and just seeing how well put together. And yeah, it does get a little bit repetitive. I do think that there could have been a little bit more, because the whole Pandaverse thing, that was actually a little bit repetitive too, but there was like a plot and B plot, and there is sort of that here too as well. It's just that these two things, like the previous one, they actually do run a lot closer together, that being with what the adults are dealing with Marsh in particular, and what the kids are doing with the whole product itself, the whole credit product itself, the kids wanting to be in on that thing. And it's funny, because there are some things you just sort of almost influence without influencing, like, say, a movie review itself. Like, that in itself is like trying to tell you, like, hey, I'm trying to get you to watch this movie or not watch this movie. That's sort of, in a way, a type of, product that you're trying to be like, hey, this is what this is all about. So even I am, in a way, guilty of it, even though to a extremely lesser extent than other bigger YouTubers clearly are, adding those additional, non-supplementary products to their advertisements in particular. And again, which ones are helpful, which ones are bad. These are all things that influencers have to think about, and some of them clearly don't. Some of them have gotten in trouble. And this is something that's addressed in this special as well. You start to see them getting hunted down because, again, they're targeting children and what's being sold. They go into OnlyFans, which is and they even do the whole thing about like how women have an easier time on OnlyFans because their bodies are desired more than men on average. So they go into that as well, and really seeing those little ticks that South Park can pull outside of the sort of repetition of their sort of framework here. It really is a fascinating deep dive, and sort of a self-reflection in a way. Uh, I think it would have been even funnier, at least from my point of view, for the whole influencer person, the actual, person that they used, having somebody who isn't recognized be the influencer, like someone like me, and I don't mean like it has to be me, but like having someone who's actually trying to build up that influence, because that's the story that they're going with. I think that would actually have added to the comedy instead of the two typical people who run the show do the voice for that particular character. I think that would have added an excellent, genuine behavior from that type of character. The influencer themselves, when they meet the influencer later on in the episode. So yeah, this is definitely. I think this is actually stronger than Pandaverse, in terms of like it. In a weird way, it's actually only hitting like one way, whereas Pandaverse was like way more quote unquote divided on again conservative politics versus liberal politics and all that stuff. This is very much like just completely mockery of all YouTubers have done. The big thing. And then you see the influencer being like, I just wanted to make it. I just wanted to make it. But, I mean, again, the negative connotation immediately follows suit of that person was willing to do that thing that, was, as the thing under it says, it's not suitable for children anymore. So, yeah, it definitely hits and makes you really rethink this whole influencing aspect, even just as someone who does YouTube normally, without additional content. What is it that you are trying to do? I mean, even if the thing I was creating was my own original animated show, let's say, again, that would be something that people would click on, and then people would want to probably be influenced to see more of it. So even just the inclination of just making that first original thing, it steps into that territory anyway. It's just how much of it is happening and how much of it is influencing. And the most important question is, what type of influence is it having? I think that is the most important question to consistently ask yourself, as an influencer. What am I trying to promote here? I'm trying to promote, just as a self, reflection, is I'm trying to promote great writing, great quality in the video games and movies I see. And I do want to extend that. I want to extend my channel at a point. I want to do music. I want to do, even though music would be harder probably to talk about, but maybe perform once I learn how to do it. Or I've always wanted to do animation, but so learning how to animate is definitely very tricky, especially if you're on your own. But I'm already a writer, I'm already a published writer. That didn't really pan out successfully, but I gave it the best shot I could, so I have a product. I do have my own product. It is a physical item that you could have bought at the time. So yeah, it's definitely something that is worth all considering. And again, what are you doing it for is definitely the consistent question. So I'm actually gonna, again, I think this special is way better than the Pandaverse one. I think it's way more consistent. It has a very strict point, even though, again, it follows a very similar format. But I think it's way more of an important subject than pandering. In being quote unquote woke, because there is a tie-in to these two things unironically, because when you look at the whole conservative thing, they're like, well, having woke stuff is bad for your children. They're literally combining the two things. That's what conservatives do. That's their whole talking point. So it is so interesting that those are so integrated now in the platform. So it would have been interesting to have at least seen a little nod to the Pandaverse here in that regard. I think that would have been a little additional add-on that they could have put here that they don't. Just little things I'm trying to think of little add-ons to really, really bite down on, content creators, generally speaking, but the bigger ones that are, doing these clear additional add-ons, these clear additional things for their own personal influence. And again, what are they doing that for? Well, I mean, it's easy. It's simple, because they say it in the show, it's for money. That's it. That's the end. And again, being a YouTuber, it's a job. Like, I'm sorry for all the people that say, oh, have fun and blah, blah, blah. And, you can say that till your face turns red. And I'm going to be the person who's always going to say, but yeah, it's still a job. At the end of the day, it's still a job now. YouTube's a company. It's an organization. There's no stopping that now. It has been that way for a long time. So stop pretending that the whole fun thing is... I'm sorry, but if you especially if you're a mouthpiece that says that, and then you have the gall to have a Patreon page, then you're a hypocrite. You are. At least I would be willing to admit that, yeah, I have a Patreon and I have a PayPal, and I want people to support what I'm, offering here. But I'm upfront about that. There are people who just say, it's just for fun. It's just for fun. It's not about the money. Pfft. Those people are hypocrites. They all are. And you know what? That's their hustle. And what can I say except you either respect the hustle or you don't. That's it. That's the end of the game. Or the start of it for some. So yeah, it's really just a deep reflection on, again, all content creators. It's everything. It's all of YouTube. It's all of Twitch. It's all of TikTok. It's all of all the other platforms that are rising up or trying to, form up. That's it. That's all of it. So I think that this encompasses way more than the whole going woke thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. There is a discussion to be had there. I'd rather things be diverse and well written. That's the ultimate goal. So I guess I'd be on the most antithesis to both conservatives and maybe some liberals, I guess, or extremely left-leaning people from what I understand of the political scale. Um, I'm the person asking, why not both? Why can't we have both? I mean, certain people are trying to get both, and they're like the independent creators. Those are the people I'm looking to. Those are the people I want to promote because they're the ones who are doing it. So I promote it. That's what That's what I want to influence. They're showing you can do this. You can make it successful. Don't be Disney, essentially, because Disney can't do it well. We've seen it not do well from Disney. They don't care because we know they're a company. We know that money rises above any political affiliation for Disney or any movement from Disney. That money, that dollar bill, rises above all of that for them because they're a company. That makes sense. It's all about capitalism. And who can argue that? I mean, don't get me wrong, Disney has done fucked up shit too. Like the whole thing about them recording in a prison camp for Mulan, just as one immediate example. But like, can you really blame them for other stuff that's clearly not as insidious as that? Perhaps, even the movie Wish, like, people were railing on that movie, but it's like that movie was fine, you know. And again, what is it? When you have that many influencers saying it's not fine, again, why? You get, again, it's reigniting the same exact question. I mean, don't get me wrong, you could do better. Obviously, you could do better than Wish. Obviously, that's a given. That's obviously a given. You could just do better than Disney is currently in an overall scale. That's not a hard task to do anymore, where Disney used to be the most innovative. And now that they're dependent on so many remakes, it's easy to, make something new, something original, something that is diverse and well written. And there are people that are coming out with that stuff now. And, all you have to do is look for it. And sometimes you come upon it by looking at other people's YouTube stuff. And then you go and you search for it. And that's sort of how it works. So, again, I would have loved a little bit of that tie-in, but I don't think it's necessary per se. But it would have been an interesting little nod, I suppose. But yeah, I think this special is definitely well worth, praising more than the previous one on a bigger scale. Because again, I just think this is a bigger topic that actually does incorporate some of the stuff from the whole quote-unquote woke episode of, South Park. So yeah, that is my review. I would probably give this, the special like an 8 out of 10. I think I gave like the Pandaverse one like a 5 out of 10, if I remember correctly. It was like sort of in the middle, like maybe slightly above average. I think this one's significantly stronger. It tackles a much broader subject matter that, again, encapsulates that subject in it to a degree as well, without even, I don't know if the writers even realize that that's the case these days, but it is. That's just the truth of the matter. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see who's reviewing this special in comparison to the last one. Are the same people doing it? Is nobody doing it? And that's going to tell you who the fakers are, is who did the last one and who's not doing this one. Those people are all fake, guaranteed 100%. Unless they're being, product placed to do it, then you just also know that they're fake to a degree, or more so that they're in it for more additional money than, well, what they're probably averagely getting, which is not even a lot, which is actually a subject matter that I do wish that this episode addressed, and it does to a degree. Like, without the ads part, like a YouTuber or /influencer maybe have one other influencer in the special that isn't doing the ads, and seeing how much the significant difference is between the two. That, I think, would have been a nice addition to this, just to gauge that extreme distance or, separation between the two. I think that's something that would have been a neat little add-on, just to give even more ideas to the credence of this episode or special. So yeah, I still think it's a really strong one. There's definitely a lot more to pull from it than what it does in repetition, and that's my full review. So definitely check this special out. Obviously, if you're a child, do not check this episode out. So there you go. I'm doing the thing. I'm saying the thing that's right on the thing. And if you ended up enjoying this review, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure to check out those links in the description. I want to head you over to my petition to help out smaller YouTubers. So get a turn to my Patreon and PayPal, where you can help support me and my channel directly. And fourth, to my Discord server, you can join, collab, and chill, and all that cool stuff for free. And until next time, everybody, bye-bye.